A monster truck rally. You could call it that for American automakers. Americans bought more trucks than cars for the 25th month in a row. Why? Gas prices might explain part of it. Fiat Chrysler May sales up 4%. Ford sales dropped 1.3%. Here with us now to talk about auto sales, Bloomberg's Matt Miller. And Jamie Butters happens to be in New York City as well. Jamie?
I feel like you don't like to say monster truck rally.
Why?
I feel like you don't appreciate the genius of that. You know, it's kind of
a monster rally, but they aren't monster trucks.
Like, I'll tell you what, I
exactly.
prefer the radio ads for the monster truck rally to the monster
Sunday.
truck
Sunday is actually an interesting, as Jamie pointed out yesterday to a few of our colleagues who were a little bit confused because the SAR, the seasonally adjusted average selling rate, is up, but the actual sales rate in units will be down. And people were like, why? Why could that? How could that possibly be? It's because economists don't like to count Sunday as a sales day, and there was one fewer day this year. So that explains the discrepancy in those two numbers.
Right. Historically, you couldn't buy cars on Saturdays. It's even hard, like in Michigan, to buy them on a Saturday. Did I say Saturday? You can't buy them on Sundays.
You can't buy them on Sundays.
But the truth is,
laws in Michigan?
you know, it's just if the dealers aren't open,
dealers and
you can't
shops
buy
close on Sunday and usually Monday as well. So
Much
it's
like
hard to buy
Bergen
them.
County, New Jersey.
Yeah.
But nowadays, people shop online. You know, people get a lot of their shopping done on Sundays, even if they can't do the transaction.
And those people are buying trucks, a ton of trucks, and they continue to do so. It's been a trend. I thought just since the recession, and I was talking with Brendan Greeley about it yesterday, and I said, I'm always shocked to hear that people buy more trucks than cars in America. And he said, why? That's always the case. So I looked at a longer chart back 20 years. Really, it's more surprising when Americans are buying small cars, because that's a rarity. It only happens typically during recessions or when gas prices take off.
Where do SUVs fall? What do they consider?
That's a huge part of the trend here, because even when gas prices go back up, what people are going to be buying is a lot of Ford Escapes and Honda CR-Vs and Toyota RAV4s, and now even the smaller crossovers that are qualified as light trucks. They get a more favorable fuel economy regulatory environment.
Right, and keep in mind, I mean, fuel economy for an F-150 or for a Chevy Silverado is still approaching 30 miles a gallon. So, I mean, do gas prices make that much of a difference is the question.
Speaking of the F-150, I'm looking at the Ford headlines right now. F-Series sales down almost 10% in the month.
Right, and the problem here is that they just can't build them quickly enough, right? They just came out with this new truck. It's an aluminum truck, and it's difficult to work with.
Oh, yeah.
Do we believe this? Yeah.
They've been running one factory for the last 9 months instead of 2.
So in other words, if they had both factories up and running, they'd be selling like gangbusters?
Presumably, yeah. They're selling at a very high price. They're selling a fully loaded. Everyone that sells is at the top of the line. So in 3 months or so, by the second half of the year, they should be going gangbusters.
They're cutting the summer shutdown short. Usually automakers shut down in the summer. They give a vacation.
They have a lot of
ostensibly,
yeah.
Because people don't buy cars as often, as much in the summer, but they're cutting that short because they can't build these cars fast enough. It's also interesting that Sergio Marchionne, Fiat Chrysler CEO, has predicted that Ford would have difficulty building these new trucks because aluminum is a harder material to work with than steel. They've been doing steel for a long time, and so it does look like they can't produce them quickly enough to meet demand. Sergio is having no trouble producing Jeeps quickly enough to meet demand, and it's very high. I mean, the truck story plays out nowhere better, at least as far as sales volume, than at Fiat Chrysler. They're doing incredibly well with their Ram trucks and with Jeep Cherokees, which we count as trucks as well.
Well, they've always been the most truck heavy, right? When I moved to Detroit 15 years ago, they were selling like 80% light trucks because minivans also count as light trucks. And they have had the minivan franchise
and they're still around 80%
top sellers. Yeah, they're still very high, although the minivans are way down as they're retooling that factory.
That's because minivans are so uncool.
You know what? I agree with you. I never want one, but let me tell you, every once in a while when I get in one, it is such a pleasure when that door just opens, when you walk straight into it. Like, I hate how much I like it, but it is a pleasure to be in one of those
Buy this girl a Honda Odyssey.
Listen, I'm never getting one, but gosh, I love
You could rent one.
I secretly
Zip
love
car
them.
one.
Have you ever been in one?
A minivan?
Yeah.
Of course.
I mean, you just walk straight into that back seat, make your way.
I'm not sure about like this.
No, I guess
it's the only three-row vehicle that you can put an adult in the third row.
Step up into the minivan as opposed to sitting down.
I'm hearing our producer, Ted, say wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Because he drives a Toyota Sienna. He has a minivan, and he's very angry with us now.